Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the Grayscale trusts and how they seem to be bouncing on Bitcoin bouncing, which is interesting. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so first thing, we'll pop over here to the chart of Bitcoin. Usually we do this in a separate video, but I did kind of want to show you guys this. So it is retesting the lows here. So we got hit 58,000, 59,000, somewhere in there. And we have had a bounce. So it does appear that the line for the bulls is holding and this thing is trying to move higher. So on that news, the Grayscale trusts are rebounding. So we had this hammer candle here in LTCN. It has not pushed to the upside yet. Again, keep in mind this is on the weekly time frame. We still have 3 days to get a close back above this hammer candle. If it does not close above the hammer candle, we may end up testing support and even come down below support. If it does get above the hammer candle, we'll likely test into the EMAs and the trend line here. So support zones we're looking at is 13.30 to, I'd say, roughly about $15. And then you got, looks like I'd say roughly about 17. And then you're looking at pretty much anything between 24 to 27, and then the swing high up here is at $55. So this is about as good of a place to get in my opinion, as humanly possible, or I should say technically possible as of right now. So because it can only come down to the trend line, and then beneath that, it can only go lower into the support or to this trend line below. So it's closest to the current support as possible. 206% move on that one. BCHG, same thing. I would say support. This zone down here is going to be ideal support. So 7 to 760. It's currently testing the trend line. So this is about as good of an entry as I can imagine one's going to get in the immediate short term. Swing high up here, $24. So if I just measure it from the current price to the swing high, you'd be looking at about 186% move. And from the support zones, we'll say the bottom of the support all the way up to the high up here, 243%. Okay, HZEN, this one's a little bit of a different story. So we got a dump, close below resistance. Looks like it's retesting. It might actually retest and then push down into the support. That does happen sometimes. So if that happens, 250 to 290 would be your entry. 1050 up at the top up there is going to be the target, or at least the immediate short-term target. So from the support to the swing high, roughly about 297%. ETCG, once again, I'll pretty much say anything along the bottom of these wicks here is going to be the perfect entry. That's roughly about 1120. So anything in between this channel, between 11 to 13, is ideally going to be the best area to get in. Swing highs all the way up here at 1950-ish. So if I just measure it from current price to the swing high, you'd be looking at about 61%. Okay, so ETH, we're getting some green candles here, but again, it doesn't really look like it's pushing up, so it's kind of just slowly bleeding off. I would say likely support, it's going to come down to support again, so that's going to be between 25 to 29. Again, the cup and handle target we're looking at is all the way up here where this white line is, you guys can see, so roughly about $46, $47. If you manage to get ETH somewhere in the middle of the support zone and you ride it all the way up to, let's just say the target there, you're looking at about 74% move. Phil G, inverse head and shoulders has not played out yet. So you have your shoulder, head, shoulder. It looks like it wants to break, but nothing yet. So in terms of getting in for a confirmation move, this, where it currently is, assuming it closes the week green, would be about as good of an entry as you're going to get. If it closes green above this trend line, that would be a confirmation entry. It could still come back down to support at a later time. It doesn't necessarily mean if it has a confirmation candle above the trend line that it is going to go up. It's just kind of an early signal that potentially the trend is changing. We would still want to see it get above the EMAs as well. So if it fails to go up, then it's probably going to come back down to the support at some point between 37 to 40. Swing high up here is going to be roughly about $400. So measuring from support to the swing high is 964% move. Now, if it does come back down to support, you guys can see it would still be quite a drop. So it'd be roughly about 55% move down. So GBAT, we're getting another hammer candle bounce off of support. That's always a good sign. But again, there's a lot of resistance to get through. We still got to get through these EMAs and this trend line. But in terms of ideal entries, I mean, if you're looking to anticipate the move, this would be in my opinion, the perfect situation to get in. A previous resistance here, and then we got a breakout, retested as support, and now we're retesting again as support. This could also be a double bottom. So just to go from the current price to the swing high up here, you guys can see it would be a massive 233% move. And again, the ideal entry at this point in time is going to be anywhere from $8 to roughly about $9.50 or so, pretty much where the price currently is. All-time high up here, $32. GLIV, another hammer candle, but this one's not green. It's also not at an ideal reversal point like the support line or something like that. I mean, it is sitting on the EMAs. It could reverse and have a hammer candle here, but I don't usually see that too often on the red EMA. It usually happens on these EMAs up here. So once again, support currently is $11.50 to $14.70. Swing high is up here at $80. In this situation, I would either DCA on the way down or just wait for it to get to support. That's just me, though. You guys can do what you want. So 491% gain there. G-Link, this thing is still doing a whole lot of nothing. I wouldn't touch this. I would wait for it to get back down to support. That's just me, though. So $66 to $85 is support. 220 is going to be the resistance. Again, we want to see a break of the trend line. That's a common theme among the Grayscale trusts right now. So from support to the swing high, about 190% move. GSOL, this one is currently testing the lows. I suspect if it does get a close below these lows, we're likely going to come straight back down into support. I don't know how long it's going to take. It could take a day, a week, a month. Nobody really knows, but that's the expected move I would be expecting to see. So support between 167 to 200, and then the swing high up here at 580. From support to the swing high, you'd be looking at roughly about 213% move. Again, I'm just measuring based on the middle of the support because it's nearly impossible to get a perfect entry at the bottom or a perfect exit of a position at the top. GXLM still kind of sitting below this lower trend line here, so I suspect likely it is going to come down and test $25 at some point. And then the swing high up is up here at 70, so you guys can see how many times it tested 25 in the past. Just many, many weeks of testing. If it does come down there, I suspect it's probably going to hold. So from 25 to 70, you'd be looking at about 180% move. And Mana, let's get rid of these fibs. So Mana's pretty much, I mean, this is, in my opinion, a perfect entry. If it gets below support, likely it comes down to about 1150. I mean, I would either position in heavily now or DCA down if I was worried about this thing capitulating down to 1150, just to kind of hedge my bet, so to speak, against the possibility of a massive drop, which could always happen. But you guys can go about doing this how you want to. I'm just telling you how I would do it. So support currently $18 to $20, and then the resistance is up here at 70. So even from the current prices, even if it doesn't drop, you still be looking at nearly a 3.5x, roughly about 273% gain. Just give me just 1 second here, y'all. So I actually have to reverse this trade. I'm currently in a trade as of right now. I'm sure you guys probably know that. But yeah, I got to reverse the trade here because the market just flipped in an opposite direction. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.